This is a session about capturing eyeballs and market share for affiliates during the COVID crisis.
Yes.
So I think we should probably talk, Dan, about just how was Chalkline running pre-COVID? How was the year looking? Because obviously what happened with sports in the middle of March changes everything.
It did, without a doubt. I mean, there was a lot of enthusiasm for the lead up to into March Madness, and then obviously all of the prep work around the NBA Finals, NHL Finals, and then going into the NFL season. Yeah, things obviously changed, but that's not to say that we haven't been pretty busy still. I know that everybody has spoken about Russian ping pong and Belarusian soccer, but there's still horse racing going on. There was still a lot of engagement around the draft, around free agency just prior to it in the NFL. So we've been able to keep a lot of eyeballs and a lot of engagement still going, even though there hasn't been an awful lot of sports.
Yeah, it's been the same, similar to us. March 12th was obviously a sort of a devastating day when in about 24 hours, every sport announced that they were postponing, shutting down.
Right.
It's what had to happen for the sake of the world, but it was pretty devastating on a growing sports online industry in North America. But it did go on after that. We figured out ways with the NFL futures on the NFL have been really driving factor. With all the land-based operators and sports books and everything else closed down. I mean, there are still people who want to spend time thinking about sports and not just about COVID. And so we support search, and that's what we see a lot of. But so Dan, we are already a remote organization in North America, Catena, but you were not. You were working at an office. How did that change how even you function as an office staff for talking about sports with your own teams?
Yeah, so I mean, we had offices in Johannesburg and in London, and it changes, it does change a bit, how you look at the world and certainly how you try to engage with customers. Right after that scenario happened, in mid-March, we reached out to a lot of our customers, and to be honest, lots of Zooms, lots of Google Hangouts, lots of Skypes, mixing it up with not having to look at each other with a phone call, which is nice every now and then. So it has been a little bit of a change, but I look forward. I just can't help but think that a lot of our engagement with our customers and potential customers are going to continue in the same vein. Being able to meet people and being able to go to trade shows, and I mean I'm on the biz dev and the sales side. I mean that's going to change significantly. I'm sure that is the same for you.
Yeah, it's everything's changed, but it hasn't at the same time. We are still doing lots of SEO search. We are still working with the majority of operators. As you said, there were still sports, whether it be Russian ping pong or draft or futures on NFL. There were a couple of operators that stopped their affiliation programs, and I understand that because they had only sports, or they're just in a situation where they had to, and we expect they'll come back. But the majority of them were able to shift to other sports or to casino and poker. I mean, casino and poker has become an exceptionally strong business right now from the affiliation perspective. And I'm hoping that bodes well for the operators in terms of what they're doing for revenues as we see reports come in, so that they're staying afloat, able to support their staff, and we all move through this.
Yeah. I got a quick question for you, though. Just when we think about the affiliate industry and we look at that kind of cost per acquisition, if you're an operator, how are you all looking at the next maybe 6 to 12 months from a cost per acquisition value to you? I am seeing a lot of cross-sell from those operators, and it looks as though if I bring a customer in, and let's just say I pay an affiliate fee of $300 for that customer, I can bring them in on a sports and shuffle them over to other forms of gaming. One in particular that I'll bring up is just horse racing has been massive because it's continuing to go on. And I look at the Colorado launch here recently, and I know that they allow online horse racing betting in Colorado. Just maybe talk through some of those elements from your perspective.
Sure. So absolutely agree on horse racing. I'm very excited that it looks like the Triple Crown is going to happen over the next couple of months still. We've got our sites like playfecta.com, which are horse racing focused. And then across all of our sites, Play USA, the lines, we'll cover horse racing as well. So yes, exciting there. In terms of how I see the competition. So cross-sell has always been something an operator will do and should do, because those that have both casino and sportsbook are maximizing their opportunity as an operator. I mean, that's why we saw some now launch their casinos in Pennsylvania finally. From an affiliate perspective, so you have to build that into your negotiations and planning is, okay, so I know that the sports rate is X, but that's only if you were selling sports. I know you're going to cross-sell some of that, so we need to build that into when we discuss with an operator, what is the sports rate that's reasonable, or is there some rate that is reasonable that if this player comes in and then does cross-sell, should there be an additional fee to the affiliate? I mean, this is business. We all know what's happening, so it's a matter of how do we negotiate that appropriately. So you could say, you're overcharging for a sports CPA. Well, that sports CPA is also 30% casino CPA, which we know is 2x sports. So,
and
so you're
seeing a
saying
little bit of poker as well. So you're getting good value for whatever it is that you're spending, with affiliates.
And that's the point of an affiliate, is we are supposed to be bringing value. So you don't pay for just plain old marketing. You pay for what we deliver, which is a qualified depositing, transacting customer. So yes, you pay for that, but you should pay at a fair rate, not too much if it's just a sports operator, but not too little, to be quite frank, if it's somebody you're going to get a holistic sport, casino, poker value out of. So
and also, when I just a lot of the operators' annual reports are coming out, and so you can look at how much they're spending on marketing, versus net revenues, and I mean it is a massive amount of net revenues. So sometimes it is they're spending well beyond what they're actually earning, and so. Whereas, like with a Flutter, they're probably spending 55 to 60% of their net revenues on marketing, and I'm talking about just here in the United States. So, to your point, I'm really happy to probably pay that, knowing that I'm going to get that new depositing customer, because it is really difficult out there to get people to go through that funnel of come to my website, sign up, deposit money, and then actually place a wager.
Yeah, and affiliates. Can also provide a lot more information back to the operators that work with us on what is working and what is not, because this is what we specialize in, Dan, is we are able to do more of the education, more of the comparison, more of the further outlooking. And, states like Colorado or others, affiliates are able to start creating news flow and education sites long before the markets open and an actual operator can go live because of their regulatory. They can't go live. We can't affiliate until we have a license, obviously, but we can be out there creating the groundswell, and that groundswell helps all, because you have a more educated customer who is more likely to be finding the right ones who are going to have the high LTV for the operators, so that their investment in Colorado pays back sooner rather than later.
Yes.
So Colorado launched, Dan, what did you think of launching during the middle of a pandemic, and what is your view on the next couple of states, Michigan or Virginia?
Yeah, if I put my operator hat on, I'm launching as soon as I possibly can. There's so many challenges internally to just launch and go live and sort out operational processes, that even if there is very small amounts of sports going on, I'm going to launch as quickly as I can, because I know that football is coming up. I know that, possibly an NHL playoff or NBA playoff. So let me understand, my systems and all of those types of things working in there. And also, there's a lot of regionalized marketing. I mean, they're selling, they're getting people to bet on Broncos futures and Avalanche futures and those types of things. So there's things that people can wager on. When I look at, I mean, you and I probably look at Michigan similarly, where it's not just sports betting, but it's online gaming as well. I mean, that's a massive opportunity.
So Dan, just before we open it up to the questions that are coming through the chat, what do you see the next 6-12 months look like from sports and from affiliation in this post-COVID world or pre-vaccine COVID world?
Sure. Here's what I see. I see sports coming back. I don't know if I necessarily see the same revenues of per player that we might start to see, but we're probably going to see a far more targeted and almost hyper regionalized marketing, and a real focus on ROI. So what are those channels that are working? If they're not working, let's get rid of them, because there's just not as many marketing dollars now, or in the next 6 to 12 months as there will be. So we're going to see really, really tight marketing spend, but making sure that there's a good ROI. I mean, is that a fair assessment? What do you think?
I'm 100% with you on that. I think sports will come back in some way, shape, or form. It's in everyone's interest to have sports running for the sake of the value of the entertainment that it brings to the population and just the activity. And I don't know what it's going to look like in the stands. So it means the online business may actually see more activity even because of the safety that online brings. I think that a lot of states are going to have to look at what do they have for online sports betting or online casino in case we have another shutdown. The impact to this tax dollars from not having your land-based casinos running means that you really need to look at what is your online presence and what is the availability of that anyways. I'm not saying that everyone should open up everything, but these things really need to be considered. And I'm looking forward to seeing if we have reasonable discussions at the political level about what the future online-offline balance really should be. So I'm hoping some of those discussions will come along with sports and other affiliation being targeted because, yeah, marketing dollars, the economy is going to be slower. So where we spend our money is going to be more important. And an affiliate, since you don't pay us until you actually get something for it, it's a good spend in my view.
Yeah, I agree with you. I also think that states are going to look at legislation where, if I have to go into a land-based casino in order to sign up, that stuff's probably going to go away. I think we're going to see a lot more enthusiasm for mobile registration and mobile depositing.
Great note to finish on, Dan. I think we'll open up for questions now.